The unprecedented gathering of leaders from across the Pacific for a meeting at the White House signals Washington's heightened attention to the region. This as China attempts to expand its own influence among Pacific Island nations. The Washington Post quoted U.S. officials as saying the Biden administration would announce an investment of more than $860 million in expanded programs, more than half of the estimated $1.5 billion provided in the past decade. The report also said officials will unveil a first-ever Pacific Island strategy aimed at addressing top concerns such as pandemic recovery, technology investments, and illegal fishing. But the most critical issue is the climate crisis, which was the focus of much of today's summit meeting. Presidential Special Envoy for Climate and former Secretary of State John Kerry presided over the discussion.
This is an historic summit.
Nous sommes ici à ce sommet
And I
historique.
know that responding to
Et
the
je
climate
sais
crisis
que
is
l'intervention
paramount
face à la
in
crise
all of your
climatique, c'est
minds.
quelque chose d'essentiel pour vous
It's at the
tous.
core
C'est au cœur
it's going
même,
to be even more so at the
ça
core
le
of our
sera,
relationship going forward.
He acknowledged that the Pacific Islands are on the front lines of the climate crisis and pledged America's full support. He also thanked the leaders, especially former Marshall Islands Foreign Minister, the late Tony DeBruym, for helping to set the goal of the Paris Climate Agreement, which is to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and prevent global warming from rising more than 1.5 degrees. Beyond that rise, scientists believe catastrophic events would be triggered, such as extreme heat waves and destruction of up to 90% of the world's reefs.
It really came from your persistence and your commitment. So I want to thank you for that. It's made a difference to the world. As you know, in Glasgow, that is the target that was adopted. So it's a tribute to your commitment and persistence, and we thank you very much for that.
The summit concludes Friday Guam time. The leaders are scheduled to have lunch with congressional leaders, and President Biden will host a dinner at the White House. For KUAM News, I'm Nestor Lecanto.